Hey there, Leicester fans. Check out this story that just made waves behind the scenes in football. Sit down because this is serious stuff, but I'm going to explain it to you in a very clear and straightforward way. But first, if you're passionate about Leicester City and want to stay up to date with all the news, transfers, and analysis that touches the hearts of our fans, subscribe to the channel right now. And to those of you who are already part of our community, a huge thank you. Your presence here is what motivates us to always bring you the best. Recently, Leicester City won a very important appeal against a decision involving the famous Premier League profit and sustainability rules. Sound complicated? Don't worry, I'll explain it all to you. It all started with an accusation from the Premier League saying that our Leicester had violated these financial rules, the ones that limit how much clubs can spend. Problem is that, according to the league, Foxes had exceeded this limit by £24.4 million, which could have even led to a points deduction. But here comes the trick. Premier League wanted to punish the club even after we had already been relegated to the Championship. And that's where the confusion began. Leicester filed an appeal, arguing that the Premier League no longer had jurisdiction over the club. After all, when the accounting period ended, we were already in the EFL Championship. And bingo! An independent commission agreed with Leicester, saying that the Premier League had no right to punish the club for the alleged breaches, since we were technically in another league. Premier League? Of course, they didn't like this decision at all, and said they were surprised and disappointed. But Leicester, smartly, defended that all they did was ensure that the rules were applied as written, without any inventions. Now, the EFL enters the game, somewhat uncomfortable with the situation. They released a statement saying that they also don't think it's right for any club to escape the rules just because they've moved to a different division. The EFL is still reviewing the decision and said it will only comment in more depth once the entire process has been resolved, and if the Premier League decides to appeal. Ultimately, what the EFL and the Premier League want is to ensure that the spending control rules, which were agreed between the clubs, are applied fairly to maintain the integrity of the competition. Makes sense, right? Leicester, on the other hand, has already recovered from that painful relegation and came back with everything, winning the Championship last season. But the Premier League season started off a little slow, with 3 games and no wins so far. But don't worry, fans. This is just the beginning, and anyone who knows Leicester knows that we can never underestimate the Foxes. So keep an eye on the scenes in the next chapters, because there could still be an appeal and more twists and turns. But